was unanimous #1 pound for pound pretty much across the board. So now with Pacquiao, it's just dominating performance of De La Hoya, and last couple of years he's fought the best competition out there.
Right.
Is he #1 pound for pound?
I think as of right now, you definitely have to look at him and Joe Calzaghe as being 1 and 2. Have to look at him and Joe Calzaghe as being 1 and 2, whichever way you prefer. But me personally, I probably would have to give it to Pacquiao right now because of the dominating way he's been winning, as opposed to the big quality wins Joe Calzaghe has. Both of them have quality wins. Pacquiao's have come in a little bit more of a dominating type of fashion. You look at him
all against elite fighters as well.
Elite, yeah. Him basically retiring Morales, shutting out Barrera basically, and just destroying Oscar. Probably got to lean towards Pacquiao.
Yeah, and I mean throughout my pound for pound list, I've had Mayweather, Pacquiao. I've even had Pacquiao above Mayweather at one point in time. I think when Mayweather knocked out Hatton, Mayweather definitely took that #1 spot. But I'm a huge Pacquiao fan, and I definitely think he deserves the #1 spot at this point in time. And just definitely against the competition and the way that he's gone through that competition.
Yeah, and I wouldn't argue with that. I mean, I think undisputedly Pacquiao is the pound for pound most exciting fighter in the world.
Definitely.
Now, when it comes to that pound for pound ranking, I don't know. I mean, you can give it to either guy. I might be a little more prone to give it to Calzaghe. If he continues fighting, he may retire and that'll make it a moot point. But, looking from 168 all the way up to 200, I really don't see anybody giving Calzaghe problems. Maybe Chad Dawson giving a little bit of trouble, but I think ultimately Calzaghe wins. I think if you go from 130 to 140, because Pacquiao's not really 147,
right.
I see a couple more guys giving him trouble than I see for Joe Calzaghe. So maybe that gives Calzaghe the lead. Maybe not. Ultimately, you can't lose. Either
really
way you go, you can't lose.
Both of them definitely Hall of Famers. With that being said, you all think Calzaghe retire or add a couple more dollars to the bank account, a few more names on the list of victims?
I'm thinking he'll probably retire. I mean, I don't see enough big challenges out there for him. I mean, after he, ran through Jeff Lacey, ran through Michael Kessler, then he ran through Bernard Hopkins and Roy Jones. What names are out there to get him? Carl Frock, another English fighter's been calling him out. Who the hell is that?
Right.
And plus, he's at 68, so Calzaghe probably isn't interested in going back to 68.
Right.
Especially for basically a guy that has no drawing power.
Right. So Chad Dawson, I think, is his biggest challenge. Unfortunately, for Chad Dawson, he's probably not a big enough name to make it where Calzaghe's live.
The other thing, too, is you look at Calzaghe, and there's nothing about Calzaghe that says, show me the money, or I want to stay in this game for the money. And he's got the one big thing going in his favor is that he could retire on top and undefeated.
Right.
So, there aren't a lot of fighters out there in the boxing history that could say that, or that you could say that about.
So if Calzaghe fights again, he got one more fight in him. Who should that be?
One more fight for Joe Calzaghe. Like you said, there's really nothing out there. I guess just taking down another young lion in Chad Dawson, who, if he loses, he'll probably be criticized for taking the fight. And if he wins, they'll probably say, well, that guy wasn't really a superstar yet. So it's really a no-win situation. Say just keep your record intact. You got nothing else to prove. I think it's a good time for him to bow out.
I agree. So to Joe Calzaghe, thanks for the memories. Holla. And I guess that would make Manny Pacquiao #1 if he retires. So this is the end of our show. We keep it short. We just want to talk about Pacquiao De La Hoya. It was a major event, and I think it's a a changing of the guard in boxing. We've seen, recent years, Mike Tyson, you know, is gone.
Roy
De La
Jones.
Hoya's on his way out.
Went to Roy Jones.
Roy
era.
Jones, you know, Tarver didn't really have an error, but you know,
Right,
he's
kind of
on
went
the way
from
out.
Roy to Floyd, kind of almost.
Right, Floyd retired, but I think he'll probably be back. So we're getting a changing of the guard. Hopefully, you know, the De La Hoya mania, the Tyson mania will get with some of these younger, more explosive guys, and we'll keep boxing alive. But we're trying to do our part. The Boxing Addictz still here. Mike D, E-Beezy, Ghetto Phenom. Holla.